Gertrude's personality is rooted in Freudian ideas that can be seen in almost every other media. After King Hamlet, Gertrude's late husband, dies. She struggles with a disagreeing id, ego, and superego. The id represents the chaotic and unreasonable side of her personality. Gertrude's id is guiding her to love King Claudius, which leads her son, Hamlet, to resent her. On the other hand, Gertrude's superego is guiding her to listen to Hamlet and to stay away from Claudius. Her superego represents her conscience and her ideal self, which wants her to avoid King Claudius and his destruction. Many scholarly authors, such as Rebecca Smith, author of Gertrude, Scheming Adulteress or Loving Mother, demonstrates Gertrude as a sensual and deceitful woman. Gertrude affects the men in her life greatly. She marries Claudius, which causes him to become king, and her marriage to Claudius causes Hamlet to resent her. The scholars focus on how Gertrude is hyper-focused on herself and nobody else, and describes her as shamelessly sensual and shallow, demonstrating just how destructive she was in her actions to the people around her. In this presentation, we will see how Gertrude and Elsa from the film Frozen have similarities in their Freudian personalities. After Elsa's powers are discovered, she runs away out of fear of what the people will think of her. While her superego strives to be a good queen of Arendelle, her id desires to be able to use her powers freely and to abandon her responsibilities. She ultimately justifies satisfying her id and abandoning Arendelle by convincing herself that her kingdom is safer without her and her destructive powers. For Elsa, an interesting compromise between id and superego is achieved. Gertrude chooses her emotional and destructive id, which leads her to marry Claudius and to give him the title of king. Gertrude is motivated by lust and desire, while Elsa is motivated by her desire to be free to use her powers and to be a good queen. Although the two women struggle between choosing their id or superego, both justify their decisions in a very different way. One is focused on the greater good, and one is driven by her own needs and desires. We start our scene with Gertrude as she takes a walk outside after witnessing Hamlet's play.
How did I reach this crossroad with only passion or moral duty as the roads I can continue my journey along?
My lovely Gertrude, in 2 months since my dear brother's departure, God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
You've been the bright light at the end of this mournful tunnel, and I doubt I would have survived without you.
I feel the same way.
Okay, can I just say something crazy?
I love crazy.
On my left I have been longing for a loving spouse, and suddenly I'm available.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I've been working my whole life to find my own throne. And maybe it's a bit too soon, I wanna share it with you. Marry me?
Marry you? I must save face.
Please just embrace.
It'll be nothing like we've ever known before. Lungs of bacon. Lungs of bacon. Lucky and much more fun with you. Lungs of bacon.
Yes, I'll marry you.
Hamlet, what purpose did you have in writing such a horrible, terrifying play? I don't understand why you must disrespect your father like this. The snow falls white on the castle tonight, neither Hamlet to be seen. A king has lost his kingdom, but it looks like once a queen. Will there be more death than sorrow in the sky? I didn't say no, did I even try? I let him in, returned his love, told him it would be for eternity, but now he's dead without my grief.
make the right decision.
Throughout the play, Gertrude sides with her id. However, after viewing Hamlet's play and speaking with Hamlet, she realizes that she may have made a mistake in marrying Claudius. Gertrude is driven by her own emotional desires and her selfish need to feel love. The decision between choosing id or superego is a hard one for Elsa. While Elsa is convinced she chose her superego, it takes an intervention from her sister Anna to realize she was really only thinking about her own happiness. On the other hand, Gertrude chooses her id by marrying Claudius, but later regrets it because of Hamlet's intervention and the destructive outcome that has been brought about by the marriage. Both women abandon their country and their home, and neither of them truly meant harm, but their inability to think outside of themselves caused unpredictable consequences, especially for Gertrude. Due to her poor decisions, she suffers hatred and resentment at the hands of her son Hamlet and the people around her.
Sing the other one, so.
Okay, can I just say something crazy?
I love crazy.
All my life has been a series of doors in my face, and then suddenly I bumped into you. Just say something crazy?
I love crazy.
Yeah,
Which finger do you want this on? This one? Okay. So let's go.
You're good.
Go.
yes, I will marry you.
Now.
Okay, can I just say something crazy?
I love crazy.
Watermelon, watermelon,
Series of
watermelon,
doors
watermelon,
in my
watermelon,
face.
watermelon, watermelon, watermelon.
No.
1, 2, go.
Set, go.